Overnight, Ukrainian drones targeted multiple strategic facilities in Russia, including an oil refinery, a military installation, and 2 additional high-importance sites. Footage shared by local residents was published by the Telegram channel Exilanova, showing the aftermath of the strikes. One of the most significant incidents occurred in Russia's Krasnodar Krai, where a massive fire broke out at the Afipsky oil refinery as a result of the drone attack. According to local authorities, a large column of flames engulfed a gas and gas condensate joint processing unit at the facility. As of 8:30 a.m., the fire had been extinguished. This is already the 4th successful attack on the Afipsky oil refinery. Notably, in December 2023, one of the units for processing fuel oil was seriously damaged as a result of an explosion and fire. The facility plays a crucial role in supplying diesel fuel to the Russian economy and military, with processing capacities of about 6 to 7 million tons of oil per year. The governor of Krasnodar Krai also confirmed a series of strikes in other parts of the region and reported an attack by naval drones near Novorossiysk. This city is home to a port as well as fuel oil and oil terminals. According to Astra, a large fire broke out at military base 61661 in Slavyansk na Kuban following a UAV attack. Ukrainian long-range drones continued their series of attacks last night on key Russian transportation routes, striking 2 railway stations in the Volgograd region. The regional governor confirmed the damage to the railway hubs caused by long-range drones, reporting that the Maxim Gorky and Surovikino stations had been hit. Footage of the fire at the latter station was released by the Astra project. The day before, the strike drones of the Ukrainian Defense Forces attacked the Tatsinskaya railway hub in the Rostov region. The strike targeted the railway where, according to local reports, fuel tankers were present at the time. Satellite imagery of the Primorsko-Akhtarsk military airbase, used by Russia to launch long-range drones, has confirmed damage to key infrastructure following Ukrainian strikes. The Ukrainian geospatial intelligence project Cyberbaroshno reported that during the overnight drone attack between August 1st and 2nd, 3 structures used to store Shahed-type UAVs had been successfully hit on the airfield grounds. Researchers noted that there had been significant activity by cargo vehicles and UAVs around the affected buildings. Additionally, a facility used for the storage and preparation of aerial munitions was critically damaged. Moreover, multiple fire outbreaks were recorded in different areas of the airfield, along with unusual activity near one of the drone launch pads. The Primorsko-Akhtarsk airbase is routinely used by Russian tactical aviation. However, with the increased use of strike drones, a separate infrastructure for launching UAVs was constructed near the main base. The so-called drone port consists of 3 small areas used exclusively for storage, pre-flight preparation, and the launch of drones. GeoInt researcher Dnipro identified 8 stationary drone launch platforms deployed on the premises. In addition, the nearby runway may be used for launching UAVs from vehicles. According to his information, the military airfield is protected by an S-400 surface-to-air missile battery consisting of 6 launchers, as well as 2 radar stations. Local media reported on their activity during the night of the attack. However, Primorsko-Akhtarsk is not the only launch site used by Russian operators of long-range UAVs. In addition to it, GeoInt researcher Dnipro has identified 2 more facilities located in the Oryol and Bryansk regions. One launch site is situated near the village of Simbulovo in the Oryol region, approximately 175 kilometers from the Ukrainian border. It is considered the main drone port for Russia's long-range UAVs. This facility is among the largest known, and it was on its grounds that the Russian Zvezda TV channel filmed a propaganda report showcasing drone launches against Ukraine. The site hosts 8 stationary launch platforms and a 2.80-kilometer stretch of road used for launching Shahed drones from vehicles. Additionally, 15 bunker-style storage facilities have been built on the premises, one of which was previously destroyed by 3 Storm Shadow missiles. Another launch site is located near the village of Navlia in the Bryansk region. It is significantly smaller than the previously mentioned facility, but replicates its infrastructure. The site contains 3 bunker-style storage units and does not have stationary launch platforms, relying solely on vehicle-based drone launches. Ukraine can end the war on its own terms, not on Russia's. To achieve this, it is necessary to actively advance on the front line, states Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, Oleksandr Syrsky, during his interview with TSN. According to him, the war in Ukraine must end in a way that benefits the Ukrainian people, and there is a chance for that. In other words, we must win, not retreat. We must destroy the enemy. We must inflict such losses on them that they are forced to end this war. Not from a position of strength, but on our terms. That is extremely important for us right now, Syrsky noted. Syrsky earlier made a statement on the anniversary of the start of the Ukrainian Armed Forces Kursk operation. The Defense Forces launched the Kursk operation on August 6, 2024. Since then, Russia has lost over 77,000 troops killed and wounded. According to Syrsky, the Russian forces also plan to form 10 new divisions by the end of 2025, most of which are intended for the war in Ukraine. As for the front line, the general said Pokrovsk remains a key area, where the enemy is trying to gain a foothold through the use of sabotage and reconnaissance groups and diversionary tactics. On August 7th, President Volodymyr Zelensky stated that Ukraine has proposed 3 formats for future peace negotiations. These talks are expected to take place soon at the leaders' level, and Kyiv anticipates decisiveness and openness to dialogue from Moscow. On August 6th, U.S. Presidential Special Envoy Steve Witkoff visited Moscow, where he met with Putin. Among other topics, they discussed the possibility of a leaders' meeting. According to media reports, Trump is reportedly planning to meet with Putin next week, followed by organizing a trilateral meeting including Zelensky. This summit, according to the U.S. and Ukraine, could become the first real step toward peace. Asked why India is being singled out for sanctions on Russian oil, Trump responded that many more secondary sanctions are coming.
Why are you singling India out for these additional sanctions?
It's only been 8 hours, so let's see what happens over the next.
Sanctions
you're going to see a lot more.
So this is a taste of
You're going to see a lot more. You're going to see so much secondary sanctions. Yes, ma'am.
U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio. I think what we have is a better understanding of the conditions under which Russia would be prepared to end the war. We now have to compare that to what the Ukrainians and our European allies, but the Ukrainians, primarily, of course, are willing to accept.
You know, those concessions aren't easy. You have to also sell them to the public back in your country. But I think what I can say is everybody wants the war to end. I think the conditions under which it's supposed to end that's always the hard part in this. But today was a good day, but there's a lot of work I don't want to exaggerate. We still have a ways to go here, but we certainly are closer today than we were yesterday, where we weren't close at all.
Is Ambassador Steve Witkoff, coming back with a ceasefire proposal?
Yes.
You know, it's like a ceasefire on Thursday, a ceasefire on Friday, a ceasefire on Monday. Is that in the cards? Was that discussed at this meeting?
Well, I don't know about timing in terms of that. That's the specific timing of it is not discussed. I think what we have is a better understanding of the conditions under which Russia would be prepared to end the war. We now have to compare that to what the Ukrainians and our European allies, but the Ukrainians primarily, of course, are willing to accept. And what you try to see is how far can you get these two positions closer? How can you get these two positions closer to each other? If we can get what the Ukrainians will accept and what the Russians will accept close enough, then I think there's the opportunity for the president to have a meeting that includes both Putin and Zelensky to try to close this thing out. So we got to get closer in that regard. But I think for the first time, perhaps since this administration began, we have some concrete examples of the kinds of things that Russia would ask for in order to end the war. We haven't had much of that to this point. Obviously, the Ukrainians have a say in this. We got to bring the two sides and the two positions close enough so that, you know, the ultimate closer, President Trump, can get involved and make it happen.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comments section. The membership link is in the description.
Rescues every day. We had a guy last week at 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.